Hello to all of my dreamers out there. I am the channeling goddess. So if you are new here, hi, hello. If you are returning back, welcome back. So today we are going to be doing another dream interpretation. So this is a pretty long one. I would suggest getting out your coffee, your tea, and getting comfortable. Now, before we get started, just want to put a couple of disclaimers out there. First disclaimer is that these are my interpretations of my own dreams. So what I interpret or what I get from them may not necessarily be what you receive from them, but I would definitely suggest to tap into your own intuition to get the messages that are meant for you. Which brings me to my second disclaimer, which is if you are looking for something more specific to you, if you are looking for a sign that you are in the right place at the right time, listening to the right video, I would suggest put out some fillers, quote unquote, into the universe and ask for signs, right? It could be a color, it could be a shape, it could be a name, it could be a word, it could be a bird, whatever it is that you feel calls out to you that could give you additional confirmation that this is the video that you need to be on. I would definitely say to do that. Okay. So now before we get started, just make sure that if you are looking to tap into your own intuition to get additional messages, it is helpful that you do things that will calm you down. So for me, I normally go put my foot out in the grass, and lately I've been taking mindful deep breaths. So normally I do 3. I inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. This helps me and could help you as well get more in tap with your own intuition, so that you can receive the messages that are meant for you. Okay, so like I said before, this is a pretty long one. So if you are looking to get comfortable, get you some tea, beer, wine, whatever suits your fancy, and then we'll get started. Okay, I will warn you, this dream is all over the place. I was rereading this and I noticed that at the end of me writing it is when I realized like how the dream got started, because sometimes I can't always remember how they get started. It takes me a minute. I have to write, and then I get it. So I'm going to try and make this make sense, but follow me if you can, slow it down if you need to. Okay, it says, the way the dream got started is a woman was on live TV or live online, and I just saw 222, and she showed her daughter Stephanie. Okay, someone in the comments asked when they were going to get Princess Stephanie's real name. Okay, then I see her father leave a comment on the video saying, "You're there." Also, I can physically see the father who is with his husband. Okay, so even though I'm not there, I can like imagine like premonition. I can see the father with his husband. I know the father has been giving the mother a hard time about the child, and she barely got to see the lady today. So this would be like a custody situation, right? Where the father has full custody and he's like making it harder for the wife to get custody of the child. Okay, so then it says, I went to the shop where this lady, there was this lady who I follow on TikTok. Her name was Christina. We'll say Christina. That's not her real name, but we'll just say Christina. She was in a shop of some sort and I ended up helping her. She was talking to people about there being 18 months in a year. There was another person who was working there with her, and she knew that Christina was quoting the days wrong. There should be a total of 13 months. She told me that I should tell her, but I wasn't about to do that. Then a woman came in to get a newspaper copied. Okay, she wanted to get the newspaper copied, and she talked about how she was going through a lot. Christina quoted the 18-month thing again, and the lady who came in to get the newspaper copy knew it was wrong as well, but she avoided the subject and kept talking about the issues between her and her child. Okay. Christina, on the other hand, Christina or the other woman tried to do something with the suction of the printer. I realized she was using a part of her healing abilities to get the printer to work. I felt there was some dishonesty there. Okay. I guided her hand to the best of my ability in the printer so that she can find the suction. Then 2 women who are very young come into the shop and they tell me that they need help opening their snacks. I can see the Cinnamon Toast Crunch from Sam's in their hands where they tried to open the bag, but it didn't work. I took some scissors and cut up the top evenly so that they can stick their hands in the bag and get what they needed out. They saw Christina and called out to her to let her know that their snacks were ready for her class. Okay. And her class was getting ready to start. When Christina spoke back to them, they got so excited. as if they were meeting a celebrity. Later, I am standing at the counter that looks out to a window where 3 people ask me to open their snacks for class. So this is another set of people. I open the first one, which is a bag of something I can't quite identify. Okay. Then just as I'm opening the second container that has 3 small biscuit sandwiches, the car that's supposed to pick me up pulls up. I tell the person next to me who is helping Christina that this is my car. There are 2 people getting out, and I know I let them use my car to pick up an item. The woman beside me says strawberries, but the guy who got out of the truck is carrying a large bag of plates. So essentially she was trying to say that the guy was bringing strawberries, but he was bringing a large bag of plates. Okay. I wonder where she got strawberries from. I wonder if maybe the lady that's getting out on the other side maybe has strawberries with her. But when she gets out, she does not. Okay. She asks me, why did I get strawberries from Sam's Club when Kmart is an option? I tell her that Sam's is cheaper and I always get more. Also, that was the end of it, because now I'm going into the way the dream got started. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. It says the way the dream got started is a woman was on live and she showed her daughter Stephanie. Someone in the comments asks, when were they going to get Princess Stephanie's real name? Something about this makes me think about the power of a name, and the power in calling a name, and the power in the name we are given. I actually did some research on my own name, which is how I determine a lot about my spiritual journey. Something about the name and the meaning of that name is significant, specifically for me. I'm not saying it's not significant for other people, but I found that it was significant for me. Spirit is also saying that there is power in the name, so don't give everybody your name. And I don't mean like your birth name. It could be your birth name, but you may be recently, or you may get confirmation in your dreams or in meditation of your actual spiritual name, and Spirit is saying hold on to your name, right? Even if you are the type of person who like myself, is on YouTube, or you're on TikTok, or you're on Instagram, Spirit is saying be careful in the power that you give people, and that power is in giving them your real name, right? Not everybody should have access to your real name, because your real name is the essence and it has power. Okay, then it says someone in the comments asked I said that. Okay. Then I see her father leave a comment in the video saying, you're there. I can also physically see the father who is with his husband. I know the father has been giving the mother a hard time about the child, and she barely got her today. To me, Spirit is talking about, specifically, this is vision related for me. Spirit is saying that I will be able to see beyond just one side. And I think Spirit is also imploring me to see beyond the veil, so to speak, right? To not just see what's in front of me, but to see what's beyond that, right? Because I wasn't physically in the presence of this man. I just could see him. And then in seeing him, I got the messages about him having a husband, and him not being, I don't want to say faithful because that's not the word, him being not being cordial toward the mother of the child and giving her a hard time. Okay. And then it says, I went to the shop where this lady who I follow on TikTok, Christina, she was in a shop and some sort, and I ended up helping her. She was talking about there being 18 months in a year. I think for me, this is specifically talking about the veil being lifted. So the veil being lifted and the wool being removed from my eyes, specifically about the months of the year, right? That's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to get into that, but if you know, you know. But Spirit is also telling me to be careful who I'm getting my messages from, because certain things I will know, like this 13, 18-month thing, I knew that because I had already done my research about it. So she couldn't, quote unquote, fool me. And I don't even think that was her purpose. I really think she believed that. And Spirit is telling me to be careful of the people that I'm around and the people that I'm taking information from, because sometimes I will not know all the answers and I'm meant to reach out to spirit to ask for more clarification. Okay. There was somebody, and if you notice, there was myself, there was another person who was helping her, and then another lady who came in later. We all knew that what she was saying was wrong, but we didn't correct her. And I think spirit is saying that I'm going to be required to speak up about injustices. I'm going to be required to speak up when I see and hear things that are not quite right. I cannot sit back and be silent, because it's almost like I'm enabling this person. So like an example in this particular dream is that I knew she was wrong. The other lady knew she was wrong. And who's to say that the new lady that came in, right, the lady that came in later who wanted to talk to her about her issues between her and her child, had not known, right? Then she would have given this person false information. It just so happened this lady knew. And spirit is saying everything is like a ripple effect, right? Even your inaction can change the course of somebody's life, okay? Yeah, I just talked about that. The lady coming in, she wanted to talk about her child. There was something about a printer. I realized she was using part of her healing abilities, and in her doing this, there was something dishonest about this. And I think spirit is just confirming to me that in everything that I do, especially on my spiritual path, I need to quote unquote stay clean. And for me, that just means that I need to make sure that I'm honest, make sure that I am not letting my arrogance take over, making sure that I am being more grateful for the things that spirit has given to me, because it's not all me, right? It is my bloodline, but it is not all me. Okay. And then there were two young people who came in, and they wanted me to open their snacks. And I gave them I cut the top of it with some scissors, so it was like they could actually put their hands up in there. And then when they saw Christina, they saw her as a celebrity, right? Now here's the thing that I like, the way they were reacting to her, speaking to them. To me, this feels like spirit is saying to me that you don't always have to be the person that everybody recognizes, as long as you're actually helping, right? Because that is the purpose of, that is part of your purpose here, is to help, right? You're not going to always get the celebrity status. People are not going to always feel like they know you. But notice how the two people who needed, when they came in, they didn't go to Christina. They came to you for help, right? And you were able to help them. Even though she was the quote unquote celebrity in the room, they didn't go to her for help, right? And even though that's, in this dream, that's what she did, right? She was a spiritualist. That's what she was known for, right? Spirit is saying that I'm not always going to be in the place where Christina was. Sometimes I'm just going to be the person on the sideline who gives a little feedback, who actually helps individuals. And I am perfectly fine with that. It says, oh, and this also, the next part, when it says I opened there were 3 other people who came. So at first it was 2, and then 3 other people came. Spirit is saying that the more that I help is going to be word of mouth. Like, people are going to continue to come to me for help. People will always, it's almost like spirit is saying I will never run out of clients, right? Or I will never run out of people to help. Because not all of I personally believe not everybody that comes to me will be able to pay, and I'm okay with that. And I think spirit will always give me discernment on whether or not I should go down that path, right? Whether it should be, hey, you should do this, or no, you shouldn't do this. So I think that's just spirit, confirming a couple of things for me. And then the car pulls up while I'm helping someone, and then the person gets out with a bag of plates. The lady standing next to me assumed that it's strawberries, but it's not strawberries. And then she asked me where I can get, why don't I get strawberries from Kmart, which I've been to Kmart. I don't remember them ever selling strawberries. But I also think that spirit is telling me that I'm going to be helping people in more ways than one, because I knew, and I wrote it down in my journal, that those people were using my car because they needed to pick up something, right? So my help will not just come in one form or fashion, not just through tarot, or not just through oracle, or not just through dream interpretation, that my help will come in different ways. Okay, so let's pull a couple of cards, see if we can get any additional messages from spirit. Okay, spirit, any additional messages about the dream interpretation? Anything I need to hear at this time? Anything the collective needs to hear at this time? Okay, so we have They flew out. Lost compass, getting back to integrity. And then we have perfect storm, the courage to step into life. Yeah, crows have been coming out heavy for me. So if you are, if that is your, that could be your sign, right? That this reading is for you, or that this dream interpretation has messages for you. I'm also being called to tell someone here, if you feel like this dream has some messages for you and you want to dive a little bit deeper, Spirit is saying meditate on it. Meditate on it, okay? And then we have closing door, completion. And then bottom deck energy is drifter, experiencing life as it comes. Okay, so we're going to read these from the book. This is my new favorite oracle deck. So let's get the book. Alrighty. Some of you may be, you may be getting ready to get into a relationship, because I keep hearing the song by India Ari, He Heals Me. So there might be a message for you in that song. Anyway, all right, so let's get started. So we have card 35. It says lost compass, getting back to integrity. It says finding the way home, trusting your intuition. When the lost compass appears, it is a sign that you need to find your way back home, back to your source and center, relying on your intuition to arrive here. Be wary of the signs telling you to turn here and there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators are not reliable right now. Yeah, the outward indicators are not reliable right now. Even like me knowing Christina had all, like, not power, but she had all this fame and people knew her. I couldn't just trust that. And I was trusting my intuition. Something about it felt dishonest. Okay. It says, be careful not to believe all the advice. Yes. Didn't I say this? Didn't I say that Spirit wanted me to be careful of the people that I'm listening to? That is crazy. Be careful not to believe all the advice you are receiving. Rely instead on your innate sense of direction and guidance, and use your homing instinct to lead you true. The lost compass has come to show you that you need to find new counselors. You're not getting the mentoring you need for your success. Who is that person you are looking up to as a model? Wow, for what it means to be a woman or man. Trash that idea. Tear up the picture you carry in your mind. You are meant to be you, not the best copy of your dearest friend. Make this your mantra. Love me or leave me. The lost compass is a blessing in disguise, because you sometimes have to lose your bearings and find yourself afresh to discover a new course. True north never changes. So reset your way to your heart compass and trust your deepest feelings, even when others do not support them. Remember that you are not lost. You simply do not know where you are going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you are and going is an opportunity to find a way to a new path. Yeah. Spirit is definitely telling me to be careful, because not everybody have the answers. And like, I really believed in this dream. Christina had the best intentions, right? It wasn't like she was trying to be mean. There was definitely, like, I think that 18-month thing was definitely key for me, because I knew she was wrong, right? I had already done my research, and Spirit is telling me to do my research. There may also be a mentor that's coming in for me. So this may resonate with some of you here. Spirit is asking you to trust in your own inner compass, trust in your own intuition to lead you down the right path. Okay. So then we have card number 44, and 44, and like 4 in general, has been coming out heavy for me lately. So whenever I see 44 or 444 in a reading, I know it's for me. So this is just double confirmation. And then this came out in another reading, and I keep seeing crows. Like, I keep seeing them everywhere. So it says, an invitation to perfect storm, an invitation to act now, the courage to step into life, sheltering from turbulence. It says, when the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting, if turbulent, time. The winds are picking up, and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm, or you will be buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. The key is to remain centered and balanced, and bear witness as the forces build in intensity. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around, and recognize how little of it you truly need. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things we are most attached to that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. Let it go. Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can also be a call for you to seize the moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. And see, to me, that's talking about the mentor that's coming in. It could be something else, but it feels like it's talking about the mentor that's coming in for me. It says carpe diem. Here, times is of the essence. It may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Go ahead, bite off more than you can chew, and take the storm on in all its terrifying greatness. Experiencing the fullness of life, you will succeed. Okay? Okay, so we got card number 5, closing door. So it says completion. And this to me feels like how when Spirit was talking about in the reading to not be trusting of everybody and to trust my own intuition and to let go of quote unquote idols, so to speak, because I idolize this person. Like in real life, I think she's freaking awesome. And I think Spirit is saying, be careful of the messages that you're receiving from other people. And it may be a time to close those doors for me, right? To close the outside door and to focus within, right? To trust my own intuition, because there is a lot that's coming for me. And for me to see this right here, this drifting, I feel like Spirit is telling me for a while I might feel like I'm drifting because I'm traversing something new, but to keep going. But we're going to read the closing door completion card. So it says, endings, completion, your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or situation that has been dragging on far too long. Unlock the cage you have been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine, consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. And to me, this is Spirit is saying, if you get to a wall, right? If you're asking for, you're trusting your intuition to give you messages and you feel like you've hit a wall, then ask your spirit guides, ask my spirit guides, my ancestors who are around me to assist me, right? It says, muster the courage to say no more. Remember as well that no one else needs to be wrong in order for you to do what you've known you needed to do for a long time. If the door to a project or a relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You have tried that already and no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked. It says, take this as a gift, difficult and painful as it is, or as it might be, move on. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destiny. Better to recognize this earlier rather than later. How many of us leave a relationship or job years after we knew it was time to move on? Stop wallowing in the pain and lingering on the reason why things did not work. It is keeping you from greater callings. Bow deeply before that closed door, give thanks to the lessons, and set yourself free. Yeah, I think Spirit is telling me that I've come as far as I can with information or guidance from others, and now it's time for me to go internally, right? The guidance that I've gotten from others did help me, and it helped me get as far as I've gotten now, but now it's time to be grateful, close that door, bow to the door, give thanks to the door, right? Give thanks to all of those people who've helped me, but to now move on, because now I'm moving into a different space in my life where now my intuition is going to be key. Trusting my intuition is going to be key. So then we have card number 14. It says drifter. It says, what lights you up? Experiencing life as it comes, seeking the essence, but not knowing the form, okay? The drifter invites you to step out of your to-do list and your ordinary routine to feel the breeze against your skin, calling you to follow the wind and explore life's opportunities. When the drifter appears, it's a sign that it's time to cut the mooring lines holding you to the dock. It's not important to know the destination before you set sail. It will become clear as you leave port. Do not wait for a map, as there are none to where you are destined to go. Yeah, to me, this is Spirit is like confirming, like, even if you don't feel like your intuition is like up to par or is everything that you want it to be, Spirit is saying still keep moving, even if you have to move in fear. It says, but be sure that you do not have a compass to keep you, but be sure that you do have a compass to keep you true, right? We got the lost compass here. It says, yours is your pure love and your intention to be free, even of your own beliefs and preconceived notions. It says, few appreciate the energy of the drifter. Here, you might not seem to be doing anything worthwhile or meeting someone else's expectations, but you are the only one who understands that others are running full out on the hamster wheel and getting nowhere. Your laziness is an unappreciated virtue. You know that life will find you and bring you everything you require without you having to search for it, by simply being instead of frantic doing. Even as you let your mind wander, releasing it to go on a daily walkabout, call it back home regularly to deliver news from the cosmos. The drifter helps you to find what you are looking for, even when you don't think you're seeking anything. Yeah, so to me, this is just confirmation. Spirit is telling me to trust my own intuition. Be more open to the answers that are given to me. Be more open to like what's actually coming to me. Be more open to understanding and not just taking someone else's word for it, right? Not just assuming just because I know you're a spiritual being and just because, you know, Spirit called you to do something else, it doesn't mean that I have to fully trust what you say. I can trust my own intuition as well. And then I also say that whenever you get a reading or any type of divination, check in with your intuition, right? Because your intuition will know, right? If you want to know if it's real, if you want to know if it's true, check in with your own intuition, because you're always going to get the answers that you need. So we're going to pull from the Angel Answers Oracle deck. If you have any particular question in your mind about this reading or about yourself, I would say to hold that question in your mind, pause the video, get you some deep breathing in, right? And then tap into what it is that you're looking for an answer from Spirit for, okay? So let's get started. Spirit, can we get 2 cards for those who are listening to the dream interpretation video? Any answers that you might want to give them right now? We have no, okay? Let's gonna get one more. Can we get one more, please, Spirit? In the near future. And then we have your bottom deck energy is yes. So if you ask more than one question, there may be more than one answer. Also, this also makes me think of Spirit is saying, no, not right now. It could happen in the future, which is why you got in the near future and yes. Okay. So this is all of the messages that I have for us today. I really do appreciate you sticking around and allowing me to give you my dream interpretation. And I will see you next time in our next video. Bye.